Good morning, friends and family. Wanted to take a moment as I'm enjoying this wonderful day, working on the quail huts right now and getting some things planted. And had a reflection and a couple stories I wanted to share with you. So, last time we were talking, I talked about prayer for a little bit and the importance on praying before going into the harvest. And so I wanted to take a moment to share a couple answered prayers that really just stick out to me in my walk. And the first one comes from when, I don't know, I must have been like 5 or something like that. And we were living in Germany, and I didn't have any American friends. I didn't have any friends that could speak English. We didn't live on the military base. We lived off base. And so I asked Mom for some English-speaking friends. And she said, well, you're going to have to pray. I said, okay. So I started praying that God would provide some English-speaking friends. And lo and behold, Dad found an English-speaking family that was part of our homeschooling curriculum. And they lived like 2 hours or something like that away. And this is before GPS. And so we decided to travel from where we were down to them. And they lived in some French dorms at the time. And they all look the same. So you pull into their base, and it was like row after row of the same looking building. So we were struggling to find them. And I remember my dad, he yelled back at me, because these are my friends that I'm praying for. And he said, John, pray that we find this family. And he yelled it. He was furious. And so I was like, okay. And I prayed, and I said, God, we're looking for the DeLulio family. Can you please send Mr. DeLulio out carrying a black trash bag to the dumpster, or black or white? I can't remember what I prayed, but within like 3 minutes, someone walks out of one of the dorms and is carrying a trash bag. I think it was 3 minutes. It could have been longer. But the point of the story is, Dad rolled his window down and said, Mr. DeLulio. And the guy turned around, because no one really speaks English, and we found the family. And it was this answered prayer that marks, for me, a journey in prayer for my life, and where I just found myself constantly talking with God. He heard my prayer, and it doesn't mean all my prayers have been answered, but it is definitely one of those markings. Another one that really sticks out to me as an answered prayer was in college. I was at College of the Ozarks, and I was on the Mow crew. So for those that remember Mow crew, paying for my tuition during the summer, and we were mowing different parts. I was over by the science building, and it was one of those cloudless days, kind of like this right now, kind of like a cloudless day, just pure blue sky, but it was hot. It was really hot, middle of like July or something like that. And I was just pushing. I was like, you know what, God, I could really use a rain. Just not like too much rain. I don't want the grass to get too soaked, but I could just use a quick downpour. And, just talking with God as I'm pushing the mower, just talking about random things. And I just threw up that prayer request. And within just a few minutes, I don't know where this cloud came from. Like the sky is blue. No clouds in the sky. And this gray, low-blowing cloud comes over and just rains right over me. I mean, it wasn't even but like from me to the fence over there. And it was just downpouring for like 2 minutes. Enough to soak me, but not the grass so bad that I couldn't keep mowing. And I looked around, and I literally could see where the rain was stopping all around me. And I was like, no way. Like, I was screaming. For those that know me from college, I was like hooping and hollering. And I was like, there was no other clouds in the sky. Like, I was like, is there a rainstorm coming in? So I like walked up to the pond, and I looked around to look for another thunderstorm. I didn't see that on the weather. And it was this answered prayer about just this little care of mine for a little rain, just to cool off in the hot of the summer. So that was a really awesome prayer. I wrote that one down in the journal, and it's tucked away in my box of special things I pull out once in a while. So those two answered prayers really helped me as I'm walking through seasons of praying, and I don't get the answer that I'm looking for. But I know that God cares about the little things. And so I wanted to share a little bit more about prayer, and especially during this season right now. So everyone knows that these times right now, we got the pandemic going on. We got the elections going on. We have social injustice that needs to be addressed. And so what ends up happening sometimes is we get frustrated with other people and we forget to pray for them. And in Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, and Luke 6, 30-ish, something like 34, I think, Jesus is speaking about, this is like the Sermon on the Mount, kind of his teachings that you can just spend hours and days, months, years in, and just trying to reflect and change your own heart. But he's talking about prayer here, and he says, pray for those who curse you, or bless those who curse you, and pray for those who persecute you or mistreat you. And so the idea of praying for those who we don't necessarily agree with. And then Paul writes in 1 Timothy chapter 2:1, he says, to make all prayers and petitions for all men in thanksgiving. And so this heart posture of prayer right now, especially during these times, I know there is so much tension right now with especially the political world. Or you might got things in your own family life right now that need prayer. Maybe there's some friends or family members that really get under your skin. So who are our enemies that we should be praying for? If there's somebody that when they come to mind, you can't think of anything nice about them. If there's somebody that comes to mind that causes you stress and you physically get angry, that's someone that you should take a moment and say, I need to pray for that person. Pray for their integrity. Pray for their well-being. Pray for their heart. So that, if there's someone that causes you that much angst, repositioning your own heart to ask God to bless them, it will change who you are, but it changes our heart and our relationship to others and to God. And so I wanted to just take a moment in this reflecting of how we ought to be acting in our own quiet time. Like here I am, I'm working in the food forest, and just taking a moment to pray. And I can pray for my friends, I can pray for my family, people I love. But then I got to take a moment and I got to think, am I praying for those people that get under my skin? Am I praying for my leaders? Am I praying for my pastors? Am I praying for other pastors? Am I praying for, the people that when I think about, they make my back tight. And so we all got those people. And it's important to remember that God says to pray for them. Jesus doesn't want us just blessing those who bless us, but to bless those who can't bless us back. And a lot of the way we can do that by starting off is just prayer. So we talked the last time about praying about getting into the harvest, thinking about those who are just down and out, dispirited and in distress. So now we should also be praying for those who don't recognize they're dispirited or distressed, but we have animosity towards them, we have anger towards them, or stress towards them. So that's my encouragement. I'm not perfect at this. I'm also praying for those who get under my skin and trying to change my own heart. And so it's easy. Maybe you're scrolling on Facebook right now and you just passed a post on someone that made you angry. And that'd be a good moment to stop and just start with that person. Hey, pray for their heart. Pray for their integrity. We can change, and God hears our prayers. So I shared those two ways God has answered prayers. I'd love to hear how God has answered your prayers. Comment down below, share a story, or share a story on your own wall and tag me in it. I'd love to read or hear your stories on prayer. Anyway, love you guys. I hope this is encouraging. I hope it inspires you guys to pray more. Pray more. All right. I love you guys.